All right, guys, welcome back to Tequila No Filter. Happy Sunday. So it's your girl, Jelyssa, and I'm super excited about today because we're going to be talking about the complexity of complexion. Today, I have two special guests who are my California sisters, Jasmine and Michaela. So they do come from a mixed background, half Black and half German. So today they'll be sharing with you their experience on their skin tone. You have your girl, Christina.
Hi. Sorry for the appearance, but I had my hair slicked down and then I sweat it all out because it is hot and humid today in Chicago.
And then we have two guests today. They're going to talk with us about our topic. So typically how we start our episode is we started with a shot of tequila, but I am traveling a lot, and me and Taylor already finished the alcohol before we started. So we're going to start this episode without Christina has a shot of tequila.
Yes,
take two of them. I think you should take 3 of them because it's 3 people. Actually, you should take 4.
No, I'm going to take 1, right? Because like I said earlier, I'm already hot and I need to drink some water. But this is some good. I didn't get the red Patron, but I got the yellow.
Okay.
So it's been sitting for what, 3 years? So here we go. Salud.
Salud. Man, I wish I had it right now. Okay, I just realized that we drank all the liquor before we started.
You know what? That's our apology, everyone, for being ill prepared for tequila.
What? At least I was on time. Okay, well, let's get started, okay? This is not a blaming game. So, guys, today on Tequila No Filter, we're going to talk about the complexity of our complexion. So what we're going to address is just our skin color and how we were treated by society, positive and or negative, as well as by our families and or siblings. All right, Christina, go ahead and kick it off.
Okay, so as you can see from our panel, we have different people, which is amazing. What we did is different complexions. I'm fair skinned and I'm, African American through the slave trade. And Jelyssa is the darkest skin.
I'm blackity black and I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all.
Our two guests who are family of Jelyssa in California, if they want to introduce themselves and tell us a little about your background.
Well, I'm Michaela, and I would say my background is going to be German and Black because of my parents. That's about how much deep did you want me to go?
That's good.
Okay. All right.
Cool. And Jasmine, it looks like she put her hand over the camera. She must be doing something. Okay, that's cool. We'll ignore her for a minute. But she's the same as you. Oh, wait, there she is. All right, Jazz. Okay. Creepy picture. You're not moving.
Hey, I'm also Black and German.
Okay, you're also Black and German. Cool.
Okay, so you guys are both mixed background.
And they're sisters.
Yep.
Well, that's great. So I know all of us have watched. I know Jelyssa and I, but have you had the chance? I know we had the chance to watch. Was it Dark Girl?
Dark Girls 1 and 2.
Dark Girls 1. I didn't
but I never heard of it.
Really?
Oh,
so you don't look at my post? Wow.
So listen, I have to go to work.
You just told her yourself.
Wow. Way to show your
I don't go on Facebook.
It was on Instagram too.
It was. But Dark Girls is a documentary how it's not it's not just America's, but it's the world, how people of darker skin tones and different cultures try to different cultures try to live up to the Euro standards. It's like white is pure, white is beautiful. But it's not. It's amazing how we come in different, but everyone's doing that. Like, what was it, in Jamaica? Almost every skin product they have has some type of bleaching component in it.
Ghana too.
Which, I'll know, bleaching it's dangerous and it can cause skin cancer. Yes. But yet you have people who are of European descent tanning to get darker.
You just hit it on the head right there. So what I kind of want to say is, from you two, from our guests, being of your racial background, your mixture of German and Black, have you personally experienced, positive and or negative comments from society about either your skin color or your tone?
If I have, I ignore it. So I just keep it going and just make them prove it that they're wrong and whatever they say, if it's negative. And if it's like a positive, like, oh, you're so beautiful, your skin is so smooth and dark. Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. I made it myself. Thanks. So that's what I do.
That's funny. Okay. Hey, Jazz.
For me, it's a little bit different. I am of a lighter skin tone, so people don't really believe me when I tell them I'm black. But those that do believe me, they will say things like, "Oh, you're beautiful for a black girl." Like that's just like it's like a negative compliment. Like I'm just beautiful just because I'm beautiful. Doesn't matter black, white. Like you know what I mean? You don't have to put race in my compliment, kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay. I actually have a question regarding the documentary. There was a part of the documentary where a little girl was giving a chart and showing different shades, and they actually did a documentary about this also with Barbie dolls. And a lot of dark skinned girls, they like the white Barbie doll because they think it's beautiful. Like growing up, like what type of Barbies did you guys like? I know that's, they put the Barbie standard also in European standards, how the hourglass figure and the European features. Like, did you growing up, like what type of dolls do you guys play with?
I played with Bratz when I was growing up, and it had to be Shasha or the Yasmin.
Okay.
So they had to be the black ones, or the dark skin color ones.
Okay.
All the other ones, I didn't like them. It didn't float me.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Same.
I actually don't have any memories playing with dolls at all, but I do remember that if I did play with them, it was definitely the Bratz dolls. We would usually share dolls, so.
I know. Me too. I had the same experience. Like my mom only brought black dolls in the house, and the only time I actually had a white doll was the My Size Barbie. And because but my mom told me it was light skinned like me, so after being younger, she wasn't black, she was light skinned. And a problem with I don't know if you guys know this, but in predominantly black neighborhoods, they have a tendency to put more white during Christmas time, put more white dolls on the shelves than black dolls. And
Which I didn't even know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yes, it's like constantly that European standard that white is more beautiful than different colors of the rainbow. It's terrible. So
yeah.
So
they're making a new one now.
Oh, which one?
They made a new Barbie with big lips, some like baby hairs coming down right here, and it's like pink. I think it's a little ratchet, but I mean, that's just me.
That's hilarious.
It is, but no, like when my mom gives me a Christmas Barbie. Well, she doesn't do it anymore because I'm, I guess I'm grown. But when I was younger, and it's like the black dolls, they used to have the same like skinny nose, small lips, but like later in the years, when I was like in, I guess 8th grade or almost in high school, they started getting like juicier lips, a wider nose, like on the black dolls. I'm like, dang, it took y'all long enough.
So true. I would say for me in general in society, I get a lot of compliments now, but I won't say that was always. I believe, I remember being teased in elementary school, and I don't really know if it was because I was black. I used to just ignore them because I had said it before when I posted on Facebook a while ago. Like, well, yeah, I'm sure they said it, but because we joked around about it at my house when I got to school, I honestly thought they were joking, so I never really took it to heart. So in terms of my skin color, I've never been teased about it, but I know when I've traveled to like different states. So the first country I traveled to was Poland when I was 15, and they had called me a nigger, right? In Polish, which I didn't know. Of course, my sponsor, or whatever you want to call them, had told me. I'm like, oh shit, like this is real, right? And then when I went to Korea, I think, not Korea, where did we go? Australia? Or was it Korea? No, it's Korea. I went to Korea like 6 years ago. Same thing happened. And I think they were just, I think it's just a lack of education. They don't know, and they just use the words that are on social media. And sometimes they may hear us saying nigger or this or that or black or whatever, right? But for me, it wasn't terrible in terms of skin color. I think because my father used to always tell me that I was beautiful, so I never had an issue with my skin. For me, it was more the weight. So that's a different topic, but it was more the weight. Yeah.
Incident I had, it was when I was younger. It was like in grade school, and one of the little boys that told me I was white. I was like, no, I'm not white. And I came home crying. My mom's like, this boy called me white, mama, but I'm black. And I guess like it's like different spectrums, because I have like my parents come from the South, so they had to deal with all that racism, especially since like they grew up in the 60s and stuff. And I'm just like, so I have like all that, that black knowledge. I'm like, oh, I know my grandparents, their struggle. So I'm like, being called white, I found that offensive personally when growing up.
And that's pretty interesting, because my cousin's down south. I think you met one of my cousins, and he was like, oh, that white girl. I'm like, Christina's black. And that's what they used to say, like, oh, the white girl? And you don't even look white, but I mean, I guess. So that's just weird, because even my family members have called you white. Not all of them, but just one. But I have a question for you, Jasmine and Mickey. So being sisters and having like different skin tones, but being so close in age, you guys hung out together a lot, right? When you were kids?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you guys love each other.
Yeah.
All the time. Mickey, you told me stories about when you would, fight for Jasmine or whatever and stand up for her.
I would.
Okay, so
I still would today if someone happened to her.
This case, like, share one story where you kind of had to step in and put somebody in headlock, and why? And you ready to throw bows anytime somebody say something about any sister. You ready to go? You ready to go? And what?
One of us has to.
And did people ever comment about that?
They do. They like when Jasmine was a freshman in high school, and I was still in the high school area with her. It was an area. I will hear that they will go to do stuff to her, and I'm like, yeah, no, you're not. You're not gonna do this. This is not gonna happen. And they're like, yeah, watch. So it's like, okay, nothing happened. No, like they will do it just because either they didn't believe that she was related to me, or that because she was light skinned with long curly hair and I had short hair because my hair was really thick and not combed. That they didn't think we were together, and then when they found like approached something to her and it got to me, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't. No.
So did people think of you as like the angry or mean one because of your actions, or because of your skin color?
No, they do it because part of them they say because I'm the angry black sister, but I'm like, no, I'm just the angry sister. That's just me.
And what's typically your response to them?
When they said I'm an angry black sister, I'm like, okay, if that's what you wanted to be. Like, comments doesn't affect me like it does my siblings. But I do take it up like, okay, so you see color other than my actual character. I see. Okay, so I don't affiliate with you as much as you want me to, because all you see is color. You don't see who I am for who I am.
Right, an angry black woman. I'll play.
It's like it's so annoying. It's like, okay, it's like, oh, if you're Latina, you're feisty. If you're Asian, you're demure. But if you're black, a black woman, and dark, and it's like the darker, it's according to them, it's worse. You're just always angry. It's like, oh, why aren't you smiling? Like, oh, I'm sorry that I'm just having a resting face. Like, do I have to smile for something to be wrong with me or be angry?
Mm-hmm.
True. Sometimes your face do be like that though, Christina. Sometimes. I don't think you realize it.
It's like one time I was at McDonald's and I was ordering something for someone, had cramps, and I was just trying to read the menu, and this man's like, oh, why don't you smile? Why'd you have to come up into my part of the line to ask me why I'm not smiling? That was irking me so much. I wasn't angry. I was reading the menu and I had cramps, but according to him, I was angry and not just, in some type of mood. But I guess that's being black. Unless you're smiling all the time, we have issues, right?
That's what they say.
Right.
But I'm always pretty smiley, so I don't have that issue where people are like, man, she's mad. Usually I'm just happy, let's go, let's get it, for the most part. So for me, in terms of society, I haven't really been torn down for my skin color. But I still think that there are women that are darker than me. Like, I know I'm like a dark chocolate. There's like some super dark or blues or blacks, whatever you want to call it, skin colors that have been talked down. I remember in like elementary school where girls would get teased about their skin color. And I think because they were darker than me, they got picked on and I didn't. And I didn't really realize it until later, like, oh, wait, like they're just a little bit darker than me, and they used to get picked on, or they was called like the dirty girl. I remember that 6th grade. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
They used to just call them dirty, and I'm like, it's not like they could do anything about their skin. I mean, to me, that was more of a hygiene thing. It wasn't like a skin color, but that's what they associated with it. Because she was darker, she was dirty, and like used to call her names and different things.
I know you mentioned how you were called the N-word in Poland and in an Asian country, but I know like you have amazing experience in like Caribbean countries. I want to ask like Jasmine, okay, like what are your experience as your skin color being an African American female in other countries? Like if you guys have visited.
Yeah. So together we visited a couple of countries. We've been to Germany and I guess just one other country. We've been to the Virgin Islands. I really haven't had any issues, but I am of lighter skin, so that could be why. But from what I saw in the German territory, they actually love Black people. From what I've seen, everybody wanted to talk to me and get more information of where I was from. And you could see that there were different groups with Black people in those groups when we went to the mall, when we went shopping. So I thought that was pretty cool. We didn't stay there too long, so I don't really know if that was like a overall country thing, but I do know that the places we visited, I did witness that.
Really?
That's awesome. That's super positive. Okay, so gotta marry a German. Check.
Well, I know like I said, we went to Dominican Republic because you know they have a big colorism issue also, that she was noticing that they were always looking at her funny. So I'm just a friend who's a darker skin complexion too. And I didn't notice it. I was drinking most of the time, but I know like the Dominican Republic, they do have big colorism issue. And it's terrible because like they're gorgeous. I want to say even the homeless people, their skin was glowing. I was jealous. Like, I'm like, you guys are just all sexy, man. The dark skin, the light skin, the caramels. I'm like, you guys can come over here, but you know, they don't love the they're in. But
that's true.
We could wrap it up. I want to thank you guys all for joining us for the complexity of complexion. But just know that you don't have to put your standards on the European standard. Love the skin that you are in, because your skin is beautiful. Your Black is beautiful. Your brown is beautiful. Your white is beautiful.
True. Oh, that was cute.
Next time, everyone, come prepared because it's called tequila, no filter for a reason.
True.
I was the only one with my tequila.
See, somebody didn't tell us. They just said jump on Zoom.
True.
I'm not gonna say no names.
I did. I did.
It wasn't me.
That's true. That's true. I did. And